Welcome to ISE305 Database Design and Practice. This is summer of 2024 and I'm your instructor Praveen. This lecture slide is titled Introduction to ISE305, which means that here we will look into the course description and course logistics. So about the lecture delivery mode. So the lectures will be delivered in online and asynchronous manner. So asynchronous means that we don't have any fixed time of the lecture as usually we have in in-person class. So in in-person class, there is a fixed time when the instructor teaches or lectures, and then the students, they are supposed to be present while the professor is delivering the lecture. Online courses can also be taught in a synchronous manner, where there will be a fixed time when the instructor is delivering the lecture, and the students are supposed to be present there when the professor is delivering the lecture. But in this mode, which is asynchronous online mode of lecture delivery, we don't have any fixed time for lecture. So what you should expect, I will post the recorded video lectures, their link in fact, on the Brightspace, and you will be supposed to go over those lecture contents. In the Brightspace, I will also be providing you the lecture slides or the lecture notes, which I use in my video lectures. So yeah, there's no fixed time of lecture. What I will do, I will be posting the link to the recording of my video lecture, and I will also provide the supporting lecture slides for you. The homework and assignments, they'll be also posted on Brightspace, and Brightspace is going to be our learning management system. So it is your responsibility that you pay attention to the announcements that you'll be receiving in your email from Brightspace, because those announcements will have the important instructions or the informations related with the course. Like when I post a new lecture video link, or the lecture slides, I will make an announcement that this lecture is available. Similarly, when I post the homework or the assignments, I will inform through the Brightspace announcement that the homework is posted, and I will also provide the information that this is due on certain date. Okay, so you need to make sure that you're paying attention to these announcements. So in the course material, that's what we have: lecture slides, lecture videos, assignments, project. You will have a course project. I'll discuss about that in more detail in the next few slides. The course will also have some tests. So let me write these things over here. Quizzes. There will be 2 quizzes, and there are going to be 2 exams. And these exams include midterm test and a final test. Now, all these tests, like quizzes, midterm, and final, they are also going to be online. But the quizzes and exams are going to be synchronous. Synchronous means there will be a fixed time when the test will be available. And you have to make sure that you take the test during that time only. And I'll give you this tentative date and time that we have for these exams. Now for video lectures, I will be uploading the video lectures on YouTube, and the link to those video lectures will be provided on the Brightspace. About myself, I'm Praveen. My last name is Tripathi. I will be holding my office hours. Office hours are going to be online. That will be on Zoom. And my office hours are going to be synchronous, which means that if you want to reach out to me, if you have some questions related to the course contents, then you need to join me in my office hours, which I'll be holding on Tuesday and Thursday from 11:30 a.m. to 1 p.m., and that is New York time. It is possible that some of you may not be able to join my office hours. So in that case, if you have to reach out to me, then you should request for an appointment. I'll be happy to schedule a time which will match your schedule as well as mine. If you want to reach out to me, then please use this email ID of mine, which is praveen@cs.stonybook.edu. I'm also accessible on my other Storybook email, which is praveen.tripathi@storybook.edu. So let's look at the exams and project deadlines, exam dates and project demo deadlines. So I told you that the exams are going to be online, and for online exams, you would need some softwares on your computer. So the software that is required on your computer is the Respondus Lockdown Browser. I will share with you I will share with you more information about this lockdown browser, like where should you get it, how you should install. That is simple, very simple in fact. And for your exams, you would not only need the Respondus Lockdown browser, you would also need Respondus Monitor. Now, this Respondus Monitor is nothing separate. When you install the Respondus Lockdown browser, then it will have Respondus Monitor by default. But for Respondus Monitor to work, you would need a webcam. Now, if you're using a laptop, then I think you should not have any issue because most of the laptops they come with integrated webcam. But in case you are taking this course or with some other device, say desktop, then you'll have to check whether you have the webcam with your desktop or not. So that's the software requirement for taking the exam. Now let's look at the tentative date of the exams. So the first exam that you'll have would be the quiz 1, and quiz 1 has been scheduled on 6th of June 2024, that is Thursday, and it will start at 8:45 p.m. New York time and it will end at 9:25 p.m. So the quizzes are going to be short, very simple in fact, entirely based on the concepts which will be taught in the class. Then the midterm exam you will have on 13th of June, that is falling on Thursday. The midterm exam will start at 8:30 p.m. and will end at 10 p.m. That's again the New York time. Quiz 2 is on 20th of June 2024, that is on Thursday. The quiz 2 will start at 8:45 p.m. and will end at 9:25 p.m. and that's the New York time. Your final test is on 28th of June 2024, that is Friday. It will start at 8:30 p.m. and will end at 10:30 p.m. Now you might be wondering like why are the tests being scheduled in the evening? So for that, the reason is that some of the students in summer, they also do internship. And I assume that if students they are doing internship, then during the daytime they will be busy. And in evening, it will be convenient for them to find some time and appear in the exam. So that's the motivation behind scheduling the quizzes and exams in the evening. All right, so now let's look at the project demo. And very soon I'll explain to you how important is the course project for ISA 305. And for grading, towards the end of the semester, you will have to do your project demo. Now the project demo will start from 26th of June and will continue till the 1st of July. So I will be providing some sign up sheet with my availability and the students will sign up. You people will sign up and on the basis of the slot when you sign up, I take your demo. Project demo it is. Now let's discuss about general class issues where you would be interested in knowing the nature of this course. So this course is very much hands-on. So during the lectures, there will be sections where you will be doing Are we on track exercises. So in my lecture, you will find myself doing a lot of demo because those demos are important. And that too, when we will be designing the RDM. RDM stands for Relational Data Model. It's very important. RDM, so you would find me that I'll be drawing RDM. I'll tell you how the RDM should be designed or created using different tools. That time I'll be doing the demo, and I will be also doing a lot of demo when I'll teach you SQL, which is a very important skill in databases, more so on relational databases. So when I teach you SQL, then I'll be doing a lot of demo. And in order to make sure that the students are also learning as I'm teaching, we will have this Are we on track exercise. So in that Are we on track exercise, there are some problems given to the students, and the students are supposed to try those problems and solve those problems of their own. Now, the other issue related with the course is a software. We would need a software. In fact, we would need two softwares. MS Access is the software which is recommended for this course. We will discuss about that soon. And MySQL. So these are the two softwares we would need. Now, softwares are available on Virtual Sync site, and here's the link. You can go and look at it. And if you need any help with Virtual Sync site, don't hesitate. Reach out to me in my office hours. I'll try my best to help you out with that. So if it depends actually what kind of computer you're using or what kind of operating system you're using. If you're using Windows operating system, then then getting MS Access should not be difficult. But if you're using an Apple machine, then yeah, the life would be slightly complex there because MS Access is not available for Apple operating system. So for those students who are using Apple machine, they will have to use this virtual sync site, which is not difficult at all. Let me know if you need some help. I'll be very happy to help you out with that. Now, the softwares are generally available on your computer. So generally available is referring to the case if you're using Windows machine. Now, in this course, it is very critical, it is very important that you're doing your working exercises after the class, and which will determine your success. Okay. Now, if you are wondering like what textbook you would need, then the textbook for this course is Data Management by Richard T. Watson. Now, let me tell you one thing about this textbook. The fact is that if you want to get this textbook, great. Otherwise, the lecture slides that I have is more than enough, right? So only if you want to get into more details, I would say, okay, you should get this textbook. Otherwise, you'll be fine. Now, the class information, as I mentioned already, you should check Brightspace regularly because a lot of information will be posted on Brightspace. So as an example, syllabus, I already posted syllabus before creating the first video lecture. So syllabus is already available there. If you have any question about the class schedule, the grading criteria, and the exam dates and all, please refer to the syllabus. In fact, even the office hours information is available on the syllabus. Okay, so on Brightspace, I already have syllabus. I'll be posting the link to the recording of the video lectures. I will be providing the lecture notes. You'll get the information about my email and all over there. Assignments will be posted there. The class notes I already mentioned. The project information will be available there. So there is a lot that will be available on the Brightspace. Therefore, you make sure that you are not missing the emails that you're receiving from Brightspace with the announcements from my side related with this course. Even these announcements may have some very important information about your exams, the quizzes, the syllabus, the assignments, the due date of the assignment, the sign up sheet. So there's a lot that will be available on Brightspace. All right, now let's look at the purpose of this course. Like, why is ISE 305 so important for you? Or in other words, what's the purpose of this course? So the purpose of this course is to help the students in understanding the use of database in an information system or in information systems. Now, you might be wondering, like, what are information systems? So I'll make your life very easy. You can think of information systems as the apps that you use. Okay, so these apps could be the apps that you're using on your phone or the applications that you're using on your computer. Okay, so as an example, if you have to buy, say, the textbook from Amazon, right? So you log into Amazon, you will see if the textbook is available, you'll request that textbook, you will make a payment, and ultimately the textbook could be delivered to you. So Amazon is an excellent information is an excellent example of an information system. And the interesting thing is that most of the information systems, or I say almost every information system or every app that you use, will have some form of database there. Okay, so in this course, we will try to understand the role of database in the functioning of any information system. Okay, and in the course, as I said, you'll have to do a project. So when you're working on the project, then at that time you'll get or you will gain hands-on experience in with this small to medium-sized database, and that database will also have the GUI or GUI, okay, as a front end. So I will be in my lectures. I'll help you out with the theory behind the databases. I'll help you out in learning SQL, the query language. I'll help you out with the design of the RDM, and with that much, with that all that background, I'll make you ready for this project. And when you're working on the project, you will have the opportunity to apply whatever theory you have learned in my lectures to that project. Now, in that process, you will get to know about the issues which are involved in any enterprise size system that will deal with the databases. And in this whole course, we will be emphasizing on translating requirements into the database. So the requirements are captured in the form of RDM, I'll say. In fact, even before RDM, I'll say it starts from the statement. Okay, and you'll have to create a statement of your project. So the project statement, we will discuss about all these things in more detail on a lecture which is totally dedicated to project only. There I'll tell you the different milestones in your project. So the project will start with the team formation. The interesting thing about the project is that the project can be done in the team also. So you'll have to form your team, you'll have to pick your own project topic, and after picking the project topic, you will have to provide a statement of your project. Statement of a project should be some English description of what your project is going to be all about. So that will, correspond to the requirements of the project, like what would be expected from the project that you will be working on. All right, from that project statement till the deliverable that you have. Now, what is the deliverable? Deliverable means your final project that you'll show me in your demo. Okay, so in that process, you will learn this whole sequence, which is very important in any enterprise where the database application is being developed. Okay, so we will emphasize on this important transition from requirements into the database implementation. Now, in ISE 305, we do not give, here we have very limited emphasis on database performance. Okay, so limited means we will only look at normalization. Okay, normalization, normal forms. This is something we will be learning towards the end of the semester. And normalization is the process where you evaluate how good your database is. Right? So in a way, normalization will help you in improving the performance of your database. So beyond that, we will not explore anything additional. So this course is tailored to database related jobs in information systems. Okay, so let's look at the course objective. So the course objective is to become familiar with the ways in which the databases interact with information systems. So this is something we have already seen. Okay, and in this course, you will understand the concept of an entity. So today I don't want to discuss what an entity is because it's too early to get into those details. But yeah, in I would say 2 to 3 lectures, right, you will have a very good understanding of what an entity is and what's the importance of an entity in the database. So you will develop that skill of identifying entities and modeling the entities, right? So with entities, we also have to understand the relationship between entities. So once you have the idea about what entities you'll have in your database project and how these entities are going to be related with each other, you will do the modeling. And the modeling involves drawing the RDMs, relational data models. And that'll be a chart kind of a thing, that'll be a picture. And from that picture, then you will translate it to the database. And you will also learn about SQL. And SQL is a very powerful and very useful skill to have. And it is a query language, stands for structured query language. We will spend good time learning structured query language. So I would guess at least 30% of your time would be used in learning SQL. Or in other words, I may say that the content that we have in ISO 305 easily more than 30% is about SQL. And SQL is in fact that important. Now, as I said that MS Access is the recommended software for this course, and therefore you will find me doing my demos on MS Access. And since if you have the MS Access on your computer, if you're able to access a virtual sync site, then yeah, doing the same query thing like the way I was doing in the lectures, you will get the hands-on experience of writing SQL query, creating your database using MS Access. We will also use MySQL. And if there are some students who want to use MySQL for this course, they are welcome. They need just reach out to me. They should tell me that this is their decision. Okay, so MySQL is also good. The queries that you'll be writing in MS Access, the SQL query you'll be writing in MS Access will work in MySQL as well. Okay, so if you think that you'll be doing whole of your query, SQL queries on MySQL, then you will end up having the hands-on experience with MySQL. In MySQL, for MySQL, we'll be using MySQL Workbench. Okay, and we will use MySQL Workbench to design the RDM. All right. Now, if you're wondering like how you'll be graded, then yeah, no surprise, you'll be getting the same grades that you'll get in any other course in Stony Brook. We have the same grades like A minus, B plus, so on and so forth. And the grades will be based on your score in exams, your score in quizzes, your performance in assignments, your performance in projects. So all these components will be taken together to compute your grade. Now, if you're thinking about the difficulty of the exams, then let me give you some hint here. Exam questions will be easy, but only easy if you have carefully completed the assignments. Okay, so if you are following my lectures, you're going over the lecture notes, you're doing all the Are We on Track exercises, and if you're successfully completing all the assignments, then there's no reason why you will not do well in the course. And what will happen? All your grades will be available on Brightspace as an example. After the quiz, maybe in a couple of days or so, you will find your quiz grade in the Brightspace. Okay, so in progress grades will be available on Brightspace. And if you're wondering about the grade distribution, then the grade distribution resembles the college overall grade distribution. The more detail I have already shared on the syllabus that is already posted in the Brightspace in the content section. Now, your final grade are calculated based on the formula. So here is the formula, and the formula has the weight assigned to different components. So as an example, the midterm will have 20%. Your final exam has 25%. The project, the most important component of this course, has 35% weight. Quizzes have 6%, and there I'm planning on giving two quizzes, right? So each quiz would be worth 3% of your grade. Homework is 14%. And for homework or the assignment, we have this policy, which is no late submission. So make sure that you are submitting the assignments on time. All right, so don't wait till the last moment. As and when the assignment is posted, you should start working on that. Now about quiz questions will be taken primarily from the textbook or the lecture material, right? So as I said, the textbook is not mandatory because my lectures are going to be enough. Lectures means the lecture content that you'll find in my lecture slides, and my video lectures are going to be enough. So the quiz questions should be directly based on what I'm teaching, or maybe based on the examples that I'm doing in my class, right? Like SQL query as an example. So I may ask the question directly based on the example SQL query that I had in my lecture slide, or could be slight variant of that. Okay, so the final grade is based on your total score in all the grade components. The higher the score, the higher will be the grade. Assignments are to be submitted on Brightspace. To receive the credit, you must make a reasonable attempt. And your SQL syntax should be correct. So what this bullet says, this bullet in a way says that the partial credit is possible. So please do submit your homework. If you don't submit the homework, then yeah, that's going to be a 0. And if you are submitting it late, then again it will not be graded. So submit your homework on time. If you need any help, you can reach out to me. I'll try my best to help you out with the concept. I cannot provide you the direct answer, but I will guide you, through the process. I'll give you the hints like how you should do your homework. Okay, so please try it out. These are not going to be difficult. Very simple SQL queries, and maybe an RDM or something like that. And for assignment, these are individual assignment. You have to do those assignments individually. The group work is not acceptable here. So if you are getting the assignment from your friend, or you're collaborating with your friend on the assignment, then that will be considered academic dishonesty. Okay, so be careful about that. Assignments will be graded, and I'll give you the feedback. So as an example, if the assignment was worth 20 points and you received 18 out of 20, then I will leave a comment for you saying that you lost 2 points for that reason. Okay, so you will get the feedback. Excuse me. You should submit on time for your grade. And the assignments are important because the component of assignment and the problem will be used in exams as well. Academic integrity, or the academic honesty, I should say, is extremely important. Academic integrity is extremely important. You better go and read the policy that we have. in the Stony Brook University. The rules you'll find in this link, and make sure that the work that you're submitting should be your own. Now, excuse me, for your project, as the project would be your database project, and for database project you need data. So as an example, if say a team is working on movie data, so for movie data you may obtain the movie from say IMDb, right? So IMDb is a very well known website with the information about movies. So if you happen to get the data from IMDb or say any other resource like Kaggle, then you must cite in your project, you should say in the project documentation that you got your data from IMDb or Kaggle or any other resource, right? So that's what we are saying here. You should cite the references for the information source in your project. But excuse me, the citation doesn't mean that you can copy something from your friend and you cite your friend. No, that will not be considered as citing references. That will be considered as cheating. Okay, so be careful about it. Okay, so now about project, which is the most important component of this course. There is going to be one major project in the course. The project will cover most of the important concept covered in the course. So in my lectures, I will teach you the theory behind those concepts with the help of some examples, with the help of some demos. But in your project, you will have to implement almost everything that is taught in the course. So what would be the project like? In the project, you'll be asked to design a database, and the database would be on a topic which is of interest to you. So that is a very interesting aspect of the project in ISE 305. Why interesting? It is interesting because we are giving this freedom to you. You have to pick the topic of your project. As an example, if you are a person who loves music, so your project could be on music. If you're a person who reads a lot of books, then yeah, your database could be on library or books. Okay, and if you are a person who loves sports so much, right, a lot, like you love basketball, your project could be based on basketball data. So you have to design a database on a topic of interest to you and will develop an implementation in MS Access or MySQL. Now, the project should be of decent size. Okay, so it should not be overly simplistic. Now, question arises, how will we evaluate the complexity of the project? Well, for that, we will use the number of entities. Again, we may not know what entity is right now, but very soon, probably in a week, I would say you will start having some understanding of what an entity is. So in your project, you should have at least 5 to 10 entities and similar number of relationships. So on the basis of how many entities you could identify in your project, we will judge whether your project was of medium size complexity or not. So you will be doing presentations, and I said the presentations are very important. I'll tell you people when will we have the presentation, and the presentations you can do either you can do that in my office hours. Okay, and that will happen towards the end of the semester in the final few weeks. Excuse me. And since it's a database project, you will have to have a decent size of database, so you should import a large amount of data. We will discuss I'll have a lecture on project, as I said, and in that lecture on project you'll have all the details related with the project. And in the final project presentation, each team will be given approximately 20 minutes, and you should prepare your presentation. So in the presentation, you should give a demo of the operations of your database. The better would be if you come with a PowerPoint presentation, because the PowerPoint presentation will give you more control about your presentation. So in a way, for the project demo, you need to structure your demo as an oral exam. Now this thing is not applicable here, so I'll say just ignore this point. This point makes more sense for the in-person lectures. So since this is not in person, it's online version, and that too in asynchronous mode, so this point you can ignore. In place of in class, it's the office hours, right? So in my office hours, you'll do the project presentation. Now, project steps and the details will be provided to you. Again, as I said, all these details will be available on Brightspace, and we'll get into the project specific details only around the mid-semester. So for the time being, you should remember that yes, there is a project, okay, and the project is worth 35 points or 35%. And yeah, you will have to pick your own project topic. And for project, you will have to write a statement of your database project, right? Which is in a way equivalent to requirement analysis, you may say, in the software development, right? Software development starts with the requirement analysis. So the statement of your project will have the details of the requirement from your project. In your project, you will create an RDM. So initially you will create an RDM and you will show me how your RDM is in my office hours. And then I'll tell you if you need any modification, right? So if I'm not happy with your RDM, if I think your RDM can be improved, then I'll ask you to revise your project RDM. And you will have to revise based on the feedback that you'll receive from me. And then once your RDM has been approved, then you can start the implementation of your database. So RDM is kind of a design, right? You can think of RDM as a roadmap, or maybe a map of a build. Wait a second. Yeah, it's called map only, right? Say you want to build a house. So for building a house, you need you'll reach out to an architect. An architect will come up with a plan, right? So that plan I think can be called as map. I don't exactly remember the term. And once that map is ready, right, then you're happy with the map that the architect has come up with. Then the actual, construction of the house starts. Same is true with the database also. You'll have to do the design, and the design happens in RDM. Once the design is approved, then you can go and implement your database. Now, implementing the database will involve creating the tables. Okay, and these tables you'll have to create table for every entity, and for some relationships you may need tables. Okay, and then once these things have been done, now we need to think about GUI GUI part of your project. Now, good news with MS Access is that MS Access has some tools called forms, which are very convenient to use, and they provide a very nice, GUI for your project. And for that, you will have to have the GUI component as well in your project, in the form of forms. Now, for your project, excuse me. One more interesting thing is that when you are creating your project, you have to come up with some 5 interesting questions that your database should be able to answer. Okay, so that is again a very interesting aspect of this project. First interesting aspect is that you have to pick your own project topic. The second interesting aspect is that you have to come up with 5 interesting questions that you think your database would be able to answer. All right, excuse me. And then in the GUI, you have to come up with at least 2 hierarchical forms. It's again a GUI part. I will explain to you what hierarchical forms are when I'll teach you the forms. And you will also have to create one report. So the report is not exactly a GUI, but yes, it's a nice representation of the data that you want to communicate to somebody. Okay, so we will look into report as well. I'll teach you what reports are. And in your project, you'll have to submit one report as well. When we are saying report, then this is MS Access report. All right. And then for the presentation, you need to sign up. I will provide a sign up sheet. You need to sign up to pick a presentation slot, and you should sign up as early as possible. In your project, you should have 3 to 4 queries on your database to answer the interesting questions. So these 5 interesting questions that we have over here are English statements, English queries. As an example, what is the most popular movie, right, of 2024? So that is an English query. Now that thing need to be translated in SQL because the database won't understand English. For the database, you will have to write the query in SQL. So these, I should say 5 queries, right? Let me remove 3 because here I'm saying 5, 3 to 5 will be a little confusing. So add 5 queries to your database to answer interesting queries. Queries means SQL query. Okay. And you will have to submit the project components over the last week. And lateness counts. You should submit your uh, um, project components within the deadline. Right? It should not be late. If it is late, you will be penalized for that. Now about the softwares that you need. Uh, MS Access will be used initially. Then we will use MySQL as well. As I said, MySQL Workbench should be used for designing the RDM. For MS Access, now if you're wondering, like, I don't have MS Access on my Windows machine, where can I get it? Well, if you go to MSD and AA on SAC, then they will be able to help you out. If you are struggling, please reach out to me. I'll try my best to help you out in getting the software. The RDMs that we'll be creating can be designed by using any available tool. You can use MySQL Workbench, or you can use MS Access. Now, it is possible if you don't if you don't understand the content, you may get stuck. So the message is ask for help if you're stuck. You should send an email to me and tell me what trouble you're having, and we'll then plan to meet in my office hours, or you can have an appointment. And yeah, I'll try my best to provide you some time where we can discuss about it. In the emails that you're sending to me, please include this course number ISE305 so that I will know that the student is from my ISE305 class. What would I recommend? Like, how should you, how will you succeed? Well, I'll say that, this is about how to learn the material, how to do well in this course. So my recommendation to you would be to don't plan on memorizing material. Okay, so it's a database course, which is a branch of computer science. And my view is that in computer science subject, we should not plan on memorizing. It will not help. Computer science is in fact very much conceptual. Okay, so you need to learn the concepts. Don't plan on memorizing the concept. Now, the best would be if you plan on learning to think about the material. You need to walk through the problem, and that's the best way to learn the material. Do all those exercises that I'm doing in the class and make sure that you understand the stuff. If not, reach out to me with your questions. You need to plan equal time on reading the text or the notes and working on hands-on exercise. Read the assignments on the bright space. Okay, make sure that you are able to do those assignments. Make sure that your assignments are correctly done. If you're struggling, reach out to me. Read the material in advance. Well, if you have some friend in the class, you can discuss with your friend, right, to get the idea about the concepts. But you should be very careful. You should not get the homework of your friend, right? Your work should be your own. You should not copy the homework from your friend in the class. But yeah, your friend can help you with the concepts. You need to watch the video lectures. You should read the lecture slides, and you should review all these things. You should review the online class notes before the exams. Lecture slides and video links will be available on the Brightspace. So once I'm done with this video recording, when the recording is available, I'm able to process the video. I upload the video on YouTube. Then after that, I will provide the link to the video. So this kind of thing will happen during the semester. Lecture slides and video links will be available on the Brightspace. And yeah, it's your responsibility to make sure that you're going over those things and you understand the stuff or the content. Now if you could get a copy, if you could print a copy of the slide handout, then that will be great, right? So it's up to you. Now be sure to review the slides before you appear in the exam, okay? Because as I said, the exams are going to be simpler, entirely based on what is being taught in the lectures. Okay, so that was it in my first lecture. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate. Reach out to me in my office hours. And yeah, thank you so much. See you in the next video lecture. Bye bye. Take care.